Deep underground in an undisclosed location, this is Trek Comics presents Batman the Animated Series and the true story of the comic books that inspired the episodes. Batman the Animated Series is a superhero animated television series based upon the popular DC Comics superhero Batman. Developed by Bruce Timm, Paul Dini, and Mitch Brian, and produced by Warner Brothers Animation, it originally aired on Fox Kids from September 5th, 1992 to September 15th, 1995, with a total of 85 episodes. For the final 15 episodes, the series had the on-screen title change of The Adventures of Batman and Robin, which was also used for reruns of earlier episodes. This series became the first in the continuity of the shared DC animated universe, spawning further animated TV series, feature films, comic books, video games, most done with the same creative talent. The influence of Batman the Animated Series had a profound effect on the DC universe in comic book form. Popular characters created for the show itself, such as Harley Quinn and Renee Montoya, were adapted and brought over to the DC universe in proper comic book continuity. This lane also went both ways, with many heralded Batman comic books being adapted into that of Batman the Animated Series. The episode Appointment in Crime Alley is based upon There Is No Hope in Crime Alley from Detective Comics, issue 457 from March 1976, written by Denny O'Neil and artist Dick Giordano. The episode Dreams in Darkness is loosely based upon Batman the Last Arkham from Batman Shadows of the Bat, issues 1 through 4, by writer Alan Grant and artist Norm Breyfogle, from June to September of 1992. This episode adaptation of the comic book story with the inclusion of Scarecrow instead of Victor Zsasz, and Dr. Bartholomew instead of Jeremiah Arkham. The episode The Cape and Cowl Conspiracy was an adaptation of the Cape and Cowl Death Trap from Detective Comics issue 450 from August 1975, written by Elliot S. Magan and drawn by Walt Simonson. Part 1 of Robin Reckoning takes its cues from Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder from Detective Comics issue 38, way back from April of 1940, by writer Bill Finger and artist Bob Kane, with illustrations done by Jerry Robinson, the true creators of Batman. One of the greatest episodes of Batman the Animated Series was the episode The Laughing Fish, which was based on 3 Batman comics blended together. The Joker's Five-Way Revenge from Batman issue 250 from September 1973 by Denny O'Neil and artist Neil Adams, followed by The Laughing Fish and Signs of the Joker from Detective Comics issue 475 and 476 of February to March of 1978, both by writer Stephen Englehart with art by Marshall Rogers. During a Spotlight podcast from Comic-Con 2007, Paul Dini explained that the reason why the episode combined those stories was that the show's creators could not adapt them separately because of their content, and thematic elements would not have been cleared by the censors. The Strange Secret of Bruce Wayne was based on the comic stories The Dead Yet Live and I Am Batman from Detective Comics issue 471 and 472, August and September of 1977, by Steve Englehart. The episode Moon of the Wolf is based on the comic book story of the same name by writer Len Wein and art by Neil Adams from Batman issue 255 from April 1974. The episode Terror in the Sky is loosely based on Man-Bat over Vegas, originally presented in Detective Comics issue 429 by writer and artist Frank Robbins. The setting has been shifted from Las Vegas to Gotham Harbor, and keeping with the family-friendly rating of the television show, She-Bat is not a vampire in the adaptation. The final line of the episode, "The nightmare is finally over," is similar to one of the final lines from the original comic, "Now Fran's vampire nightmare is about over." One of my personal favorite episodes, episode Almost Got 'Em, appears to be influenced by a 4-issue story arc in Batman issues 291 to 294 from 1977 entitled Where Were You the Night Batman Was Killed? All 4 stories were written by David Verne Reed and drawn by John Cullen under the direction of Batman editor Julius Schwartz. In each of the 4 issues, one of Catwoman, the Riddler, and the Joker all recount their claims to have killed Batman. However, the plot for Almost Got 'Em is quite different. 6 different stories in the show, and 4 completely different ones in the comic book, with only the Joker as an overlapping antagonist. Two-Face's strategy in Almost Got 'Em, strapping down Batman to a giant coin and flipping the coin in the air, was taken from the comic World's Finest Comics, issue number 30, from September of 1947 by writer Bill Finger and artist Bob Kane. In the backup tale, both Batman and Robin were tied to a giant penny that was catapulted into spikes by a lesser-known villain, the Penny Plunder. The episode Off Balance is a direct adaptation of Batman into the Den of the Death Dealers from Detective Comics issue 411 from May of 1971. Written by writer Dennis O'Neil and drawn by artists Bob Brown and Dick Giordano. It is famous for the first appearance of the mysterious Talia al Ghul. The 2-part episode, The Demon's Quest, is a direct adaptation of Daughter of the Demon from Batman issue 232 from June of 1971, and The Demon Lives Again from Batman issue 244, September of 1972, written by Dennis O'Neil and drawn by artist Neil Adams. The issues themselves are famous for introducing one of Batman's deadliest foes, Ra's al Ghul, the father of Talia. The episode's sideshow is loosely based upon A Vow from the Grave, from Detective Comics issue 410 by writer Dennis O'Neil and artist Bob Brown and Dick Giordano. This episode adapted the comic book story with the inclusion of a separate Killer Croc story. A Bullet for Bullock is based upon the comic of the same name from Detective Comics issue 651, October of 1992, by writer Chuck Dixon and artist Graham Nolan. Finally, the feature film Mask of the Phantasm is also an adaptation. The film's flashbacks were inspired by Batman Year One, whereas the character of Andrea Beaumont and the storyline itself were modified from Mike Barr's story Batman Year 2, which ran in Detective Comics issue 575 to 578 in the late 1980s. The villain of this comic was named the Reaper. Batman the Animated Series helped further Batman's popularity throughout the 90s and today by introducing a whole new generation of Bat fans. It also incorporated Harley Quinn and Renee Montoya into the regular Batman comic book continuity. Not to be outdone, Batman the Animated Series also drew upon Batman's past with many popular adaptations of some classic comic books of Batman by some of the series' top writers and artists of their day.